When you move into a building, you expect that measures have been put in place to ensure your safety as a tenant. It's pretty alarming how often those expectations can be completely incorrect. No one should ever feel unsafe in their own home, but in many cases, the consequences of money and greed can put people in danger. It's something we've discussed a few times on this channel, and as long as greed keeps hurting people, I'll keep bringing it up. Let's talk about what happened at the Grenfell Tower. The Grenfell Tower was designed in 1967 as part of the Lancaster West Estate, a housing complex in North Kensington. The building was complete in 1974, but of course it didn't come without its design flaws. Standing at 24 stories tall, it could hold about 120 flats and roughly 600 people. In 2016, a major renovation took place at the building. Ride-on Construction completed the renovations, including new exterior cladding, replacement windows, and a communal heating system. There were also improvements to the first 4 floors, including gaining more rooms and improvements to the community facilities. Before and during the reconstruction, residents were already starting to complain about safety concerns if there was a fire. One of the biggest flaws was that there was only one stairwell in the middle of the building and only one exit and entrance. Furthermore, the fire extinguishers in the building were months past expiration. Some even had the word "condemned" written on them after a failed inspection. In June of 2016, an independent assessor noted 40 different fire violations within the building and stated that changes should be made quickly. By October of that year, nothing had still been done. The residents were vocally appalled about the landlord blatantly ignoring these warnings. One inspector even found exposed gas pipes in the building. The only passageway residents had to get out was constantly blocked by trash and mattresses. In fact, there was no instructions posted in the building as to what people should do in the event of a fire. One of the worst policies that were set in place was something called the Stay Put policy, stating that if there was a fire, residents' individual rooms were fireproof and that they should just stay put. Leaving was unnecessary. Part of the problem with the renovation was the cladding that was installed. It wasn't exactly fire resistant, and outside that, there was an aluminum composite rain screen that would protect it from waterfall. When a more fire-resistant cladding was proposed, it was refused. The reason on the application stated that the cladding was supposed to help with heat and energy efficiency as well as improve the exterior appearance. But everybody knew that it was chosen because the material was cheap. Warnings thoroughly ignored. Let's talk about the night of the tragedy. June 14, 2017, at the early hours of 12:50 a.m., a fridge freezer caught fire in flat 16 up on floor 4. Smoke alarms woke the resident, who found their fridge smoking in the kitchen, before notifying their neighbors and calling for help. Within 6 minutes, 2 fire trucks arrived at the scene, and due to the stay put policy, residents were told to stay inside. It was 1:07 a.m. when firefighters entered the building and started working on the kitchen fire, but by now it had reached that exterior cladding and caught it on fire. The not-so-fireproof cladding that we wish we had. By 1:15, the fire was starting to crawl up a column along the outside of the building. Residents on the 5th and even 6th floor were starting to escape their flats when they started to see smoke creep in. Any attempt to extinguish the fire from the outside with water jets was proving to be pointless because of the waterproof rain screen. By 1:30 a.m., the fire was starting to be considered out of control. But we're not done talking about how the building had its problems. Due to fire doors not sealing correctly, the smoke was free to roam into the lobby and stairwell. Residents were starting to flee their flats, but it was slow to do so. Many were woken up by smoke alarms in the middle of the night, and time wasn't on their side. At 2:10 a.m., the fire was crawling around the side of the building, and it was finally considered a major event. It attracted about 40 fire trucks at this point, but it was proving to be difficult to control the blaze even with all this help. The stay put policy stayed in place until 2:47 a.m., which is way too long, in my opinion. By then, the fire had consumed two sides of the building. There was more than 100 firefighters in the building at a given time, and another 150 outside, trying to control the blaze. In the end, 65 people were rescued by firefighters. Another 144 had escaped before the stay put policy was taken down, and only 37 escaped afterward. By 2:51, the fire had consumed the west side of the building, and there was more than 100 people still trapped inside. By 4:15 a.m., police advised the large crowd gathering outside to contact any loved ones they thought might be in the building and tell them not to wait for rescue services and get out. By 4:30 a.m., the fire had consumed the entire building, and it raged on for 24 hours before burning itself out at 1:14 a.m. the next day. In the end, 72 people lost their lives to the fire, two of which were residents that were trying to take legal action before the fire started due to their safety concerns. In the end, it's another case of being cheap over keeping people safe. I hope the people who were responsible for this feel the guilt. It's considered today the deadliest structure fire in the United Kingdom. Thanks for watching. For more true crime, true horror, and bad horror movie reviews, please consider subscribing. Game with me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, and as always, be well.